It's time now for a fireside chat with Erika Welch, co-founder and chief content officer at Lucidity Insights. Erika worked closely with the Dubai Chamber of Digital Economy to bring everyone here at Expand North Star the Dubai Startup Guide 2024. Erika, in her capacity as co-founder and chief content officer at Lucidity Insights, also hosts multiple podcasts where she interviews some of the region's most active venture capitalists, as well as some of the region's most successful startup founders, to shed light on the regional startup ecosystem. Welcome, Erika.
Thank you for having me.
It's wonderful to have you here. Tell us about the Dubai Startup Guide 2024. What's inside?
Yeah, what's inside? So there's a couple people that's going to start distributing it out here, but basically this year's edition of the 2024 Dubai Startup Guide is an unbiased guide for everything you need to know from A to Z to set up your business here. And whether you're a startup, first time setting up an organization, or if you're a transplant or trying to set up a branch or an office here in Dubai, or if you're trying to set up a regional headquarters, we have all of the information in there for you.
And it's so difficult to find unbiased information, so this is really unique and really valuable. What can you tell us about what's inside this guide, and how is it meant to be useful for entrepreneurs here at Expand North Star?
Yeah, so this is a report that basically, when we say A to Z, we really mean A to Z. So what's the first step in terms of setting up a company? Where would you set up? Mainland versus a free zone, for example. What are the different licenses available? There's over 40 jurisdictions in Dubai alone where you can set up a business. So if you're an AI business, where would be the best place? Or if you're a Web3 business or a robotics business. We even have cheat sheet guides in the back of the report, 2-pagers, for 9 of the fastest growing startup sectors. On how to set up here. Also, because if you're a digital currency player, for example, or a blockchain player, you're going to have to be regulated by VARA. So there's very specific insights for startups in different sectors on how to register yourself, what are the most startup-friendly banks, what's the process, essentially, to call Dubai your corporate home. And something else that we're really excited about this year is that we also recorded 5 interviews with some of the key stakeholders in the region. So we have Nader, who's the managing director of Dubai Future District Fund, giving an investor's perspective of why startups are increasingly calling Dubai home. We've interviewed His Excellency Ahmed bin Biat, who is the vice chairman of the Dubai Chamber of Digital Economy, and 3 really interesting startup founders, actually. One is Micropolis, who's building autonomous sort of security patrol vehicles for Dubai police, and they're building that here. And so we talked to him about attracting that level of talent to Dubai. We also have Loon Technologies, which is a fintech player, and we also have Chainalysis on why they chose Dubai as their regional headquarters over anywhere else.
That will be a fantastic read, and it is incredibly accessible with information. I believe there's 100 hyperlinks in the digital version of the Startup Guide. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so if you have the print version, it's really beautiful to have, but I would actually recommend you check out the QR code behind us and download the digital version, because if you have any questions about something or you want to dive deeper into the visa process, green visa, golden visa, where do I go for that? Or the coders program where, the UAE is giving out 100,000 golden visas to coders. If you want to learn more about those sort of initiatives, it's all hyperlinked into the digital report to make it easier for you.
It seems that so many businesses are either moving to Dubai or launching from Dubai. What do you think is really driving this trend?
Yeah, so we talk a lot about this. We also recorded a 20-minute podcast where we have all these experts from these expert interviews. And what came out of this was a few things. One is attractivity. I mean, how many of us live here in Dubai, and it's, you know, some of us have tried to move on, and it's really hard. Life here is good, it's convenient, the infrastructure is great. And beyond that, in terms of being a great place to live, it seems to be a really easy place to convince additional talent to move to. That's one. Number two, beyond the safety and the infrastructure and the internet and all of these initiatives that the government is doing to make it easier for businesses to set up here, is let's just look at time zones. You know, just at Lucidity Insights, we have team members spanning London all the way to Bali. And everyone can work within the working day time zones, right? And so this is what Dubai has to offer, is a global meeting point for a global team that might be strewn across multiple time zones. A third element also is access to capital. As you know, there was a venture capital winter that's been happening, and we're just sort of seeing us coming out of that now. But as that VC winter was taking over all over the world, where were Silicon Valley's venture capitalists coming to fundraise for their next fund? They were coming here to the region. They were talking to players in Saudi, here in the UAE, Qatar, et cetera. And so that means that more than any other place in the world, access to capital, I would say, is very available here. And even if it feels that there might be a crunch, you know, every venture capitalist I speak to on our podcast called The Perfect Pitch, where we talk to venture capitalists about what makes a perfect pitch, what, you know, should be in the right pitch in order to attract that investment. They all say if you have a great business idea, money is always available.
Well, we did see VC funding drop 23% in 2023 compared to 2022, but then you have companies like Presight coming on this stage yesterday and announcing a $100 billion fund. So definitely ease of doing business, fantastic lifestyle, access to funding. What were some of your key takeaways from doing all this research and having so many conversations to make this Dubai Startup Guide a reality?
Ooh, yeah. So I would say, you know, in this part of the world, a lot of people say sometimes there's a lot of talk and how much of it is real action. I would say, first of all, that's number one. There's a lot of action. I mean, Dubai Chamber of Digital Economy is just one example. They have a digital economy division of the chamber just dedicated to making sure that Dubai becomes a digital economy hub by 2030, like one of the world's best. Right? And we have a minister of AI. And beyond those titles, there's actual real initiatives and programs below them to ensure that this happens. Even this UAE minister's Ministry of Trade, I think, initiative around having 100,000 coders get golden visas. Why are they doing this? They're saying that the language of the future is not Arabic or English. It's the language of coders. And just like Silicon Valley, if we want to become the next Silicon Valley, then we need to have a certain percentage of this country speaking a coding language and being able to code the next generation of businesses. So I think that's what we saw. And we also saw that, you know, transplants from around the region, but also around the world. So Chainalysis is based out of New York, but they very clearly chose Dubai as their regional hub, not just because they think it is going to become a Web3 and a blockchain player of the future, but because already their partners had started to move their offices here, and they were seeing so much startup activity here. So I think that's the biggest takeaway for us, is that it's not just you know, these taglines, but there's real programs behind it that are driving real numbers. And if you guys check out the report and all of the resources within it, we have some data and figures for you guys to take a look at as well.
Do we have any questions from the audience? I'm sure we have a question or two among this giant crowd. Yes, please stand up and we'll give you a mic. Go ahead, they'll turn it on.
The mics are shy sometimes.
Can you turn on this mic, please? This mic here in the audience.
Hey, can you hear me? Oh, wonderful. This is a great discussion. Actually, I'm one of the founders of clean tech startup that is processing the heavy and toxic metals out of the liquid waste, whether it's generated by agriculture or mining or oil and gas or cosmetics industries for that matter. And we're set up in Canada at the moment. And we would like to move into the UAE and make UAE a regional center. So what is happening in the clean energy space? What are the kind of initiatives and grants are available for startups like that? And where do you start?
Yeah, great question. So the question around, where do we start, really? That's why we developed this report. In this report, we also have a list of, not a totally exhaustive list, but the most active incubators, the most active accelerator programs, and we do cover all 40 plus jurisdictions that you can register your company in, and within each of these jurisdictions, they all have their own programs. So we got the research started for you. There's a lot more that you have to do on your side, but there's certainly a lot of accelerator programs that are popping up every day, and some of them are industry specific. I didn't quite catch from the stage, I think the speaker.
Energy industry, I believe, yes. The energy industry.
Oh, well, that's really interesting. So there's also a lot of corporate venture capitals that are interested in doing that here and now. We just released a special report with DEWA as well, the Dubai Energy and Water Authority, all around their carbon net zero ambitions, right? So there's certainly a lot of that going on. There's most VCs in the region will tell you that they're sector agnostic. There are a handful that are coming up now that are specializing, but the reality of the nascent stage still, I hate that word, but that stage of this market we're in, VCs also don't want to exclude anyone, right? And so they all say that they're sector agnostic, but I do encourage you to do your research. You can also go to lucidityinsights.com, where we have a list of 750 investors and their profiles, who they funded, and you can do your research there to figure out who might be the right players for you guys to approach.
It's notable that Erika referred to DEWA as the Dubai Energy Water Authority, whereas in the old days it was the Dubai Electricity and Water Authority. It just shows how DEWA is evolving, and that is kind of becoming part of the culture of the UAE, that it's an energy company, not an electricity company. Do we have any other questions from the audience? Yes, in the front here.
Hi, thanks so much, Erika, for suggesting that resource. That's actually what I was going to ask, because obviously all startups require funding to scale up and grow within the region. So would that be the main resource for the major VCs and family offices to engage into a dialogue with regarding valuations, regarding funding for VCs that would like to establish themselves within this region? Or perhaps you're coming out with another guide or another sort of report that would specify the main VCs, family offices that are active within the region.
Right. So this question is specifically about registering a family office or a VC.
No. The question is regarding potential investment for startups. So who would be the main players that are active within the region, like main VCs or main family offices to approach to start that dialogue?
Right. Okay. Well, if you go to lucidityinsights.com, we do have a database there of pre-qualified 752 investors at this time that have actively invested in startups in this region. And by region, I mean Middle East, Africa, Pakistan, and Turkey. So it's a big region, but that's a good place for you to start, and you can take a look at who are the most active ones and reach out to them directly there or on your own.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Erika. Unfortunately, we have run out of time, but I think we have ascertained that Dubai is definitely on its way to becoming the next digital economy capital of the world. Thank you so much for sharing with us the guide, Erika, and we hope to have a follow-up next year.
Looking forward to it. Thanks, everyone.